Actually, the celebration of AAPI community goes on every day. But I say that APA Heritage Month has become a bigger and better event and effort each year. More partners, more appreciation and attention locally and nationally, and more recognition for the role Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders play in the life of this country and this very city. We are proud to welcome you to the Asian Museum to start the celebration. The Asian Museum celebrates Asian art and culture, Asian American art and culture. We are a place to explore, to discover, and to be inspired by the power and the meaning of art. And inspiration is the key to connection. And connection is what the celebration is all about. So, I'm thrilled to introduce Claudine Chen, who will tell you more about what's in store. Claudine is a tireless supporter of Asian art and culture, and she has been the organizing force behind this celebration for 17 years. And she also serves on the board of the Asian Art Museum Foundation. I'm so grateful and delighted to welcome to say a few words, introduce today's program to all of us. Claudine.
Thank you. Is it almost good afternoon yet? Thank you everyone for coming. Every year we would like to make sure that our publics learn more about what we have planned for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. This year our theme, our celebration theme is Celebrate Resilience, Uplift Voices. We all know the tremendous challenges that the API community has been facing this past year, whether this is with COVID-19 or with the anti-Asian hate. However, it is the consensus of the community that we want the celebration of this month to be positive. We want to show the world that we are proud Asian Pacific Americans, and we are proud being Americans. So as you will see, throughout the month, we have many programs, over 50 programs, that showcase the art and culture of Asia Pacific America. Later on this morning, you will hear from the best museum of the world. Of course, we are at Asian Art Museum, the best public library in the country, the San Francisco Public Library, as well as the largest Asian American Film Festival in the country, although I was told also in the world, CamFest. So what's different about this year? We want to be relevant. We are very concerned about the social justice issues that Asian communities are facing with. So this year, in addition to art and culture, we are presenting programs, although in the area of activism. We Asians, we have been telling everybody, let's speak up. We need to speak up, we need to tell our stories. So this year's program will also include programs to talk about what it means, what racism means, how do we achieve equity, what does solidarity means. So and public safety, very, very important on everybody's mind, public safety. And in addition to that, what's new this year, we are going to, for the first time, have a multicultural program. We live in a diverse society and a very multicultural society. So taking advantage of APA Heritage Month, we are putting together the first the first multicultural program that will be featuring artists from diverse programs to talk about cultural identities, to talk about how they achieve social justice through art. We hope there's some programs, there's some activities and programs for everyone to enjoy. We encourage everyone to find out more about what you can do in San Francisco during the month of May on our website, apasf.org. At this time, I would like to warmly welcome our Mayor London Breed. There's no other better champion that the API community have found in this past year through the challenges that we have. We know that there's one person that we can count on who cares about us, who cares about social justice, making sure that San Francisco is going to be the most multicultural and most diverse city in the country. So let's welcome Mayor Breed.
Thank you so much, Claudine. It's a little windy out here today. I can't wait until we can get back indoors for these press conferences. I don't know about you, but it's now overdue, with over 70% of San Franciscans receiving their first dose of the vaccine so far. So San Francisco's doing an incredible job with the vaccination process. And today, as we kick off Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in San Francisco during the month of May, it just reminds us as to how far we've come as a city. Last year, this celebration was held virtually. We didn't let this pandemic stop us from celebrating and uplift our Asian Pacific Islander community in San Francisco. And I really want to take this opportunity to not only thank Claudine Chang for founding the committee that developed APA Heritage Month in San Francisco, but continuing to elevate the conversations that are so important to build the bridges between the APA community and others in our city. We know that this community has had a really challenging time over the past few months with the xenophobia and discrimination ever since this pandemic began, perpetrated by even leaders of this country that I am now happy are gone. It is up to us to make sure that we don't allow that to infect San Francisco in a negative way. And so the work that Claudine is doing to bridge that gap with communities, not just in this moment, in this festival, but what she does year round, is very much appreciated and very necessary in order to make sure that we drive out the hatred that divides us and we bring forth our history, our culture, and all the incredible things that unite us. Just think about it. All of us want a safe place to raise our families and take care of our parents and live a good life. And how do we talk about our differences and how do we talk about our similarities in a way that supports and uplifts one another? APA Heritage Month is a time where we pause and we recognize the contributions of our Asian Pacific Islander community here in San Francisco. When we recognize how significant they are to building this city, to building this country. Here in San Francisco, we make it very, very clear that we will not tolerate the hate and division. We will do everything we can to make not just the right policy changes and investments, but the right programmatic things that are needed in order to bridge those gaps. And so we all stand united, incredible city leaders, putting forth a program that in some cases will be in person, but we will do so safely. But as we prepare for next year, when we're really gonna showcase the performances, the events, because yes, I don't mind or hadn't mind the Zoom and video stuff that you watch online. We adjusted to that, but now it's time to start to open the doors and come back together again. And I can't be more excited to do that by kicking off APA Heritage Month here in San Francisco, right across from City Hall at this incredible Asian Art Museum, right next to the library. We have our city librarian, Michael Lambert, with us with some amazing programmatic plans for this month. And let me tell you, if you haven't been to CAMFest, you are missing out big time. So make sure that you take advantage of the programs and the events. We'll be in Japantown this Saturday. So many great activities, so many ways in which we can celebrate and uplift our APA community here in San Francisco. And with that, I'd like to introduce our city administrator, Carmen Chu.
Thank you very much, Mayor, for the warm welcome to everybody who is here today, and of course to Claudine and to Jay for hosting this event today. My name is Carmen Chu. I serve as San Francisco City Administrator. I think as the Mayor underscored, we've all had a difficult year dealing with not only the pandemic on our hands, but some of the racial violence and challenges we've seen not only here locally in the Bay Area and in San Francisco, but across the country. I think it's worthwhile to note, especially someone who has grown up here as an Asian American woman, that xenophobia and some of the challenges that we've seen facing our community is not something that is new. It's not something that just came about because of the pandemic, but it's something that we have seen embedded within our history here in the United States. Whether it was the people who were discriminated against when they came to work on the railroads, or the Chinese Exclusion Act, among all of the other different discriminatory acts that we've seen this play out in many different ways, whether through legal action or the subtle ways in which people are excluded or treated as others, or always as the perpetual immigrant in this community and in this society. And so, though there are so many challenges before us, I have to say that I am very excited to be here to kick off our APA Heritage Month. And the reason is because this is an opportunity for us to take all of those challenges and that pain and that hurt and to turn it into something that is different and positive, to begin to turn the leaf on what we think our country should be, to live up the ideals of making sure we have an inclusive community, an inclusive society. And so I just want to thank the Heritage Month Committee, Claudine, and all of the folks who have been involved for planning the wonderful events that you're going to see, because it's an opportunity for all of us to engage, to remind everyone that Asian American history is American history, that when we start to open up the conversations, we start to make ourselves vulnerable to talk about our hurts, our pains, our experiences, we start to build those connections, build those bridges between our communities to make sure we are advancing where we are. And so again, I'm very excited to be here for that reason, because let's not forget that we've always been a community of resilience. My parents, many people before them who've immigrated with nothing, we've been a resilient community. We're going to get through this together, and the way that we start is by uplifting our voices, making our voices be heard, and sharing all of those experiences that help to bring our communities together. Thank you very much. With that, Claudine.
Thank you. Thank you, City Administrator. So the mayor just now talked about we will have a kickoff celebration in Japantown on Saturday. Of course, the event will be in compliance of San Francisco's public health guideline. At that event, as every year following our tradition, we will be honoring some exceptional organizations for their significant milestones. We will be honoring this year the 60th anniversary of the San Francisco Seoul Sister City Committee. We will be honoring the San Francisco Manila Sister City for 45 years, and also the National Japanese American Historical Society for 40 years of contribution. This year, because we always talk about we are the San Francisco Bay region, we also want to give special recognition to two very special organizations that have brought Bay Area Compact. The Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California for being around for 70 years, and of course, World Journal, one of the premier newspaper in the country, and of course in San Francisco Bay Area, providing news and information to our Chinese American community, congratulating them on their 45th anniversary. So we'll hopefully all of you will be there to when we celebrate all these milestones. And now I would like to invite our celebration partners to tell you the highlight, maybe just one or two of what your organization is offering in the month of May, maybe starting with the largest Asian American film festival in the country, CAMFest, represented today by director of the festival, Masashi Niwano. Masashi?
Thank you, Claudine. Hello, everyone. My name is Masashi. I am the Festival and Exhibitions Director at the Center for Asian American Media. On behalf of the CAM staff, I want to thank Claudine so much for letting CAM participate in this wonderful month of celebrations. And I am surrounded by so many amazing people. It's quite overwhelming. And just being in person with people is really exciting. CAMFest is coming up. It's May 13th to the 23rd. As Claudine mentioned, it's the nation's largest film festival that showcases and celebrates Asian American stories. We will be presenting over 100 diverse films, over 50 unique events. mostly virtual, but also at Fort Mason Center. We will have 3 wonderful evenings of screenings of films. Half of those films are local films about our Asian American communities. As everyone mentioned, there's a lot of anxiety in the world, there's a lot happening, and we wanted a festival that really met that moment, talked about these important topics. But as we all know in this last year, media is so important. Being able to connect, being able to have some levity, to be inspired by films and stories is so important. So through the programs that we are presenting this year, we do hope we can do a lot for our communities. Not only let you all know about some talented creative folk, but hopefully to inspire people to heal communities. There's a lot happening. camfest.com is where a lot of our screenings and programs will happen. One of the great things about having a virtual film festival is we have filmmakers from all around the world who will be participating, being able to connect with you all. So once again, Claudine, thank you so much. I do hope this year, I know it's going to be fabulous, but in my brain, I'm thinking about next year. I'm thinking about our 40th anniversary festival, and I dream about being back at the Asian Art Museum opening night, Castro Theater. I hope to see you all there this May, but then also next year as well. Thank you.
And next, so we have our city librarian, Michael Lambert. Michael?
Thank you, Claudine. And thank you, Madam Mayor, for your leadership and guiding us through this past year. I'm really excited that this is the 60th anniversary of the Seoul Sister City Committee. I was born in Seoul, and I want to thank Mayor Breed for appointing me to be the first Asian American city librarian in San Francisco and the first Asian American to lead any major urban library in the country. It's truly wonderful to be here at the Asian Art Museum to celebrate the kickoff of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. This year's theme, Celebrate Resilience, Uplift Voices, is really the perfect inspiration as we're on our way to recovery and healing. I want to thank the APA Heritage Month celebration partners, our sponsors, and particularly Claudine for your passion and your ongoing commitment to celebrating our culture and heritage in San Francisco. APA Heritage Month is all about celebrating community, and San Francisco Public Library is honored to be one of the cultural institutions that helps to highlight the important contributions of our AAPI community to the richness and vitality of San Francisco. We have an incredible lineup of programming this year, and I encourage everyone to visit the website, apaheritage.org, and take advantage of some of these free programs. We've got incredible authors. I saw Chef Martin Yan is in the lineup with a cooking program. But I'm really excited to welcome our community back inside the main library on Monday and to our Chinatown branch in a couple weeks after that. The books are back, and we are well on our way to reopening our library system, and I so look forward to seeing everyone back in the stack soon. Thank you.
Andre, would you have anything to add for the museum?
Thank you, Claudine. I'd be delighted. Yeah. Claudine, Madam Mayor, Carmen, our administrator, and program partners and sponsors, thank you very much. Of course, our media friends. Thank you for spending time this beautiful, nevertheless windy morning. And Asian Museum celebrates Asian art and culture and Asian American arts and culture and heritage. And we're also playing a leading role in raising our collective voices in fighting against anti-Asian racism and violence. So after this press conference, I'll encourage you to all go the other side of our museum's Hyde Street to see the murals outside the museum. We really have turned the museum inside out. We express ourselves from our internal values to our external audience's engagement. And these are the works by Asian American women artists, very powerful in raising their voices through the voice of art. And for this particular month, APA Heritage Month, we also celebrate connections among this very diverse community and their cross-cultural impact. And those connections are beyond, not only within the Asian American AAPI communities, but also beyond with all diverse communities. So let me just highlight 3 programs. Our content involves visual arts, of course, but also food, but also music. One of the programs is called Artist Panel, Environmental Resilience and Asian Pacific American Leadership. I think this is a topic that transcends all boundaries. Another program, Food, At the Table, Sugar Work, Afro-Asian Art and Foodways. Asian Museum has been exploring very active partnerships with community organizations and other museums of other communities all along. One of our strongest community partners is the MOAD, and we continue to explore the cross-pollination and collaboration. The third program I just highlight is called Celebrating Asian Futures, a music conversation with Van An Vu and friends, a wonderful Vietnamese American artist. But as I said, Asian Museum celebrates AAPI community and Asian arts culture and Asian American heritage every day. So come to enjoy the museum and also advise us to tell us how we can do better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. So APA Heritage Month is really a big community celebration. It's coming back together of our APA family. So I want to really thank many of the volunteers that have been able to, that are coming together to make this happen. They're not here today because everybody is working. But I just want to take this opportunity to acknowledge all the volunteers who serve on our committee and our board. We also could not have brought this celebration together without our sponsors. This is really a big collaboration between the community, between our city government and our business communities. We have many sponsors with us this year, and including, but not limited to, Anthem Blue Cross, Waymo, and for many years, the Golden State Warriors. And this year, we have 3 amazing presenting sponsors, Kaiser, Amazon, and U.S. Bank. 2 of the representatives are here today, and I really want to thank them. And maybe they have great things to share with us. And Jane Pang from U.S. Bank is here. Jane.
Good afternoon. On behalf of U.S. Bank, I am so proud to be part of today's official kickoff. I'm Jane Pang, Vice President and Business Banking Leader with U.S. Bank. This past year has been an especially difficult one for our community. At U.S. Bank, we have pledged to do our part to combat racism and anti-Asian hate in the community. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are at the core of everything we do, and we are committed to stand with you during APA month and beyond. Just last month, U.S. Bank helped deliver 3,000 personal safety kits to our customers and community groups in Chinatown and other Asian American neighborhoods across the Bay Area. And last week, our employees volunteered to help distribute meal vouchers to vulnerable seniors in Chinatown. U.S. Bank has also announced additional financial support to AAPI organizations, including our incredible partner here today, Asian Pacific American Heritage Foundation. Our work in support of AAPI communities is critically important and will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And last but not least, I think APA Heritage Foundation, we always like those names that start with an A. So from Amazon, Sally Kay.
Thank you, Claudine, and thank you, Mayor Breed, and all the members of the APA Heritage Committee. I want to applaud you for many years of devotion to ensure that the API community has been celebrated in San Francisco. Amazon is here today to celebrate Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, along with our employees, our customers, and our neighbors and friends throughout the city. It's wonderful to be here today with the optimism of spring and to gather together with a new hope. This last year, the tragic events that have happened have made this celebration even more important. And with that in mind, Amazon Music, which has a large number of employees here in San Francisco, has highlighted playlists, new music, short films, and more to highlight visibility for API artists. At Amazon, we stand in celebration and in solidarity with the API community. And we are committed to help building a country and a world where everyone is free from fear and can live with dignity. And Amazon is committed to advancing social equity and justice throughout San Francisco. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Sally, and thank you, Mayor Breed, for your time, and thank you all for coming, and hope to see you all on Saturday, May 1st in Japantown.